Do it. Hello? I said do it. What are you talking about? I know you've been thinking about it. Your own words were, your next main is out there waiting for you. Now it's up to you to go find him. I can't pick up another fighting game right now. I'm too busy. I've got all these other projects that I'm working on. Then why am I in your hands?
I don't...
And why did you buy the game? You can't help it. The pull is too strong. It's time to continue your journey. Now only one question remains. Who am I going to play? Yeah, I'm already back. I told myself I'd move on, touch some grass, maybe play some nice relaxing games to make videos about. But I just got a taste of what fighting games had to offer last time, and I wanted more. If you haven't seen the first Why We Main, you'll want to go back and watch that one first. Last time I tried to answer the question, why do we main? And honestly, I thought I had it figured out. But then you guys showed up in the comments with your own reasons, your own stories, and it turns out there's actually a lot more to say about this. People brought up perspectives I completely overlooked, and even made me rethink my own approach to picking a main. So today we're diving back in. More reasons we main, another journey through a new fighting game, and seeing what happens when I put my main to the ultimate test.
Mission.
Having a main doesn't mean you can't play other characters. Sometimes you might feel the same level of comfort picking multiple characters, and who you want to play just depends on your mood, the matchup, or who your opponent is. If you play a game for long enough, it would be completely normal for the game to start feeling stale or repetitive if you only pick one character. Some people like having a character for when they're serious, and another for when they just want to relax and have fun. Variety is the spice of life after all. Just because you're a dedicated Ken main doesn't mean you can't pick up Dhalsim to have more fun. Evil Weevil brings up a great point in this comment. Don't be afraid to try out new characters too, because you could find yourself pleasantly surprised. Sometimes you don't pick your main picks you. Maybe you tried a character as a joke or on a whim, and suddenly they just clicked. I love this idea because it flips the philosophy of finding your main on its head. Instead of it being this careful, deliberate process, it becomes almost random. You're just messing around and boom, now you're a lifelong Kuma main. It's another benefit of testing out the whole roster of any given game, fighting games and beyond. If you pick Widowmaker in Overwatch, for obvious reasons, and you exclusively play her, even if she is fun and you like her, Reinhardt might be the perfect character for you, but you'll never know unless you give him a shot. Mr. Degenerate28 wrote that when it comes to mains, it's not only how the character looks or how cool they do their moves, but more importantly, the story behind them. He talks about how he mains Cammy in Street Fighter because she's got the rushdown playstyle that he likes, and also a super cool backstory. Fighting games aren't just about mechanics. They are still video games after all. They're filled with characters that all have their own unique stories. Choosing someone because you connect with their lore, or just because you like the way they look, is completely valid. In fact, the comments reminded me that I didn't talk nearly enough about aesthetics in the first video. It's one of the biggest reasons people choose their mains. Your first impression of any character is when you see them. If you knew absolutely nothing about a game and the first thing you see is a character select screen, you're going to pick the character that you think looks the coolest. If you like the look of a character more than any of the others, you are almost certainly going to like choosing them every game. My brother, for example, always chooses the Bruce Lee character. Law in Tekken, Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat, Fei Long in Street Fighter, and no matter what, he'll make them work because that's who he wants to play. Cheesecake Gamer 8882 said they made Dudley, Balrog, and Ed because their favorite fighting style is boxing. Another totally valid reason to main a character. Me personally, I think Muay Thai is the coolest fighting style, and ironically, I couldn't even consider the Muay Thai characters in Tekken or Street Fighter when I played them a couple of months ago. Because I kid you not, the last day that I played Tekken was the first day that Fahkumram released. And then a few weeks later, the last day that I played Street Fighter was the same day Sagat released. You can't make this shit up. I 100% would have been swayed to pick these characters, but they weren't even options for me at the time. But hey, at least it gives me a good transition into the next section. I spent a lot of time talking about the perfect character in the first video. This idea that there could be a character that fits you so perfectly that playing them feels like destiny. But something I didn't cover was the fact that your perfect character might not exist, at least not yet. It's possible that not one character offers you exactly what you're looking for, but that doesn't mean there never will be. A lot of people will pick up and main the newest DLC character simply because they're new. But sometimes that new character has everything you've ever wanted. To bring up another example outside of fighting games, I'll bring up Marvel Rivals again. For the first few months, I played around the whole roster, enjoying all of the characters but never really feeling like there was one that I loved more than all the others. And then, midway through Season 1, they released a trailer for the newest tank coming to the game, The Thing. From the trailer alone, I knew they made this character specifically for me. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Marvel Rivals devs for thinking of me when designing this character. It means a lot. But seriously, prior to The Thing's release, I didn't have a main in Rivals. But since that day, I'm a Thing main and proud. There's an interesting duality here. On one side, you have people who want to main top tiers because it gives them the best shot at winning. This was something I brought up in the first video, but I failed to mention the other side. The people who specifically go for low tiers. I saw multiple comments of people proudly saying that they actively want to play the worst character in the game. A certain pride comes from winning with the character that most others write off. There's also an attraction to the contrast of playing the character that nobody else wants to play. While everyone else runs around getting cheap wins with the most broken characters in the game, you're putting in the real work, taking this character that everyone else underestimates straight to the top. McBill7352 said, I started Tekken with Lee and Street Fighter 6 with Ed. Not very easy characters, but it's who motivates you to learn that matters. I wholeheartedly agree with this point. I ended off the Street Fighter section in the first video saying I didn't come back to play Street Fighter, I came back to play Marisa. That's because Marisa made learning Street Fighter fun for me. Some people want to play the hard character because they like the challenge of learning them. But I think being motivated to learn can apply to easy characters as well. A beginner-friendly character might make you want to keep learning because they make the game feel approachable. This is why I like playing easy characters. One of my pillars of playstyle was simplicity. If a character is simple enough for me to wrap my head around, it inspires me to learn everything about them, so I can focus on more of a macro view of each match than a micro view of everything my character does. But sometimes it's the hard characters that inspire you. You see the mountain in front of you and you want to climb it. A character having hundreds of different moves or a dozen unique stances might ignite your passion to learn it all. Either way, your main can be the spark that gets you to keep playing. And that motivation is often more important than tier placement, their lore, design, or anything else. Lastly is a point that I discovered on my journey with Street Fighter 6. The idea that your main isn't a static choice. It can change as you change. I started out in Street Fighter convinced that Bison was the character for me, but then I moved to Honda to try and get a better grasp of the game's basics. And then after re-evaluating the roster, I found myself on Marisa, which was the perfect fit. Each shift reflected not just the game, but the way I was playing at the time. You will not be the same player 1,000 hours into a game that you are when you first launch it. Sometimes it's not as simple as picking the character that you like the most and sticking with them forever. You will change. Your playstyle might change, your design preferences might change, maybe you just get bored and want to switch things up. I still believe that for some players like myself, there is that one character that will make you enjoy the game more, but that doesn't mean that character won't change. It's always interesting to see how your main evolves as you learn. I went through that process in Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and then I experienced it all over again when I played. I was originally going to try Guilty Gear in the first video, but I spent so much time with the other two games that I decided to hold off. So when I saw all the comments asking me to play it, I was honestly pretty excited. Now I finally had the perfect excuse to give it a shot. But this time I wanted to do something different. The ranked climb was fun in the first video, but I thought of something that might be even better. I was going to host a tournament.
Wow!
I enjoyed the journey of finding my mains so much that I wanted to share that feeling with my friends. This was the perfect opportunity for it as well, since almost none of them had played the game before. So we'd all be figuring things out together. Before I even bought the game, I messaged as many friends as I could and invited them to compete exactly 1 month from that day. To sweeten the deal, I even offered a $100 cash prize for the winner. And now it was time to get serious. The stage was set. I had 30 days to prepare myself for a tournament. But before I could start training, I needed a main. Going in, I knew absolutely nothing about Guilty Gear. Not just Strive, but the entire franchise. Everything was completely new to me. Luckily, you guys had my back. In the comments, a lot of you suggested characters you thought I'd like based on my playstyle. So when I booted up the game for the first time, I ran through the tutorial, then headed straight to the dojo to get a feel for the cast. The names that were suggested included Leo Whitefang, Nagoriyuki, Ramlethal, Gold Lewis, Soul, Slayer, Potemkin, and Elfelt. NoJV recommended the perfect character for me to start with, Leo Whitefang. On paper, this guy has everything I'm looking for. As a reminder, the 3 main things I look for in a character's playstyle are spacing, mixing, and simplicity. Leo is pretty straightforward. His mix game goes crazy in his back turn stance, and his range leaves a little to be desired compared to other characters, but isn't bad. Off rip, I feel like I could choose to main him and not look back. But this roster is so cool, I have to give these other characters at least a fair shot. Next, I tried Nagoriyuki. And again, this character looked perfect. Oh boy, does this guy have range. His pokes are hitting from damn near full screen. He is as simple gets. Not a lot of moves, big normals that control space. His mix game does exist, but has nothing compared to Leo's back turn stance. 2 characters in, and I'm already unsure of who to pick. I could see myself playing either of them, but they both require small sacrifices to my playstyle. Leo would force me to play a bit more aggressive than I'm used to, getting up close so I can get into the advantage state I want, where Nagoriyuki would keep me at my ideal range, but force me to sacrifice that aggressive rushdown mixing aspect that I'm looking for. I looked at the rest of the suggested characters, but none could compare to these first 2 options. Potemkin and Gold Lewis had that big, heavy archetype that I like, but if there is anything I struggle to do in these games, more than anything, it's half-circle inputs. And that is a vital part of both of these characters' kits. Elfelt has a cool mixing game plan, but is a tad too rushdown focused for me. Soul and Ram were also cool, but they both kinda lacked the sauce that I was looking for. Neither of them really excelled in the ways that Leo and Nagoriyuki did. Lastly, I went through the rest of the cast to mess around with each one of them and make sure I didn't miss anyone. So now I have to decide between 2 choices, Leo or Nagoriyuki. This choice was killing me. I started practicing with both of them to see if anything clicked, but all that really happened was me getting frustrated with trying to learn the game. Something I learned when I did this with Tekken and Street Fighter is that learning a new fighting game is hard. Yeah, no shit, it's hard, but what I mean is when you're at a skill level like mine, where you understand fighting games but aren't really all that good at them, you kinda just expect to pick it up and know what's going on. But that just isn't the case. I'm sure there will be some pro gamers in the comments that have no trouble picking up a new fighting game and playing at a high level. But for someone like me, there is a serious learning curve. The best way to learn is to stick with just one character and start to learn how the game works. I did this with Honda in Street Fighter 6 and it worked really well. So I plan to employ that strategy again here. But I still have the problem of having to choose one of these 2 options. But what if I chose neither? Last time I focused almost solely on gameplay when choosing my mains. In my defense, that's because that's what I value most. But this time things went a different direction. Being split between Leo and Nago confused the hell out of me. They both brought gameplay aspects that I was looking for to the table, and yet neither of them were jumping out at me. I had convinced myself that my main had to be one of these 2 options. and my indecisiveness made me take a step back. If my gameplay-focused search isn't working, maybe I should try a different approach. If you watch other videos about picking a main, they usually tell you to follow the rule of cool, which basically just means picking the character you think looks the coolest and then start learning from there. I usually scoffed at this idea because I couldn't care less what my character looked like, I just cared how they played. But this time, I was willing to give it a shot. I re-examined the roster, looked at all the characters' designs, their movesets, I even read up on their lore. This roster is so rich and has so many incredible characters, and my narrow thinking caused me to glance over them because they didn't have good long-reaching normals. Of all the characters though, one stood out to me above the rest. Bedman has one of the most unique and interesting designs of any fighting game character I've seen. I love how of all things to make an awesome killer robot, it's a bed. His lore is amazing both in previous games and especially in Strive. I also like how Delilah runs around in the foreground of the fight, and even his gameplay looks cool. He was far from a perfect match gameplay-wise, but he had the tools I needed. Now that I had narrowed down the one character I want to stick with, it was time to start practicing for real. You may have noticed, that's not Bedman. Well, that's because I switched mains again. Yeah, I know. I spent all this time preaching about the importance of mains, and then I can't stick with the character for more than a day. But hear me out. Bedman didn't necessarily do anything wrong. I hadn't even given him a fair chance, really. I decided to main him after a long day of work, spent maybe 20 minutes in training mode, and called it a night. The next day I hit the books hard, learning everything I possibly could. I was ready to take this character seriously, but before I could even hop into ranked, fate intervened. I was picking out a YouTube video to watch while I ate dinner. I was going to watch some Bedman matches to learn, but then I came across this video by Sajam. I didn't know anything about Yunika. Every video about Guilty Gear that I've watched came out before she was even in the game. So I figured, what the hell, let's see what this character does. Safe to say I liked what I saw. So I bought her. I didn't intend on abandoning Bedman just yet, but I figured the interest I have in at least trying her out for myself is worth the $7. I never expected how head over heels I would fall for this character. She is perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details. I feel bad leaving Bedman behind, but I can't help my gameplay-focused feelings. When I tell you guys that this game started making sense to me like never before, I mean it. You remember my 3 pillars of playstyle? Spacing? Check. Mixing? Check. Simplicity? I don't even have to do quarter circle inputs on this character to succeed. Things couldn't be simpler. And so I learned and I practiced, and I was finally ready to play my first match. Almost 10 hours into the game and I still have never fought a real player. Placement matches honestly went better than I expected. I went 4-6, but I'm just happy I won a few games. I landed in bronze and that felt appropriate. Despite losing more than winning, I felt confident in my upcoming climb. I felt like the matches I lost were only lost because of inexperience. I didn't know what any of my opponent's characters did, but my path to the top couldn't be clear. Over the next few weeks, I plan to play as much as I could. Not only in ranked, but against the other tournament competitors, to see where I truly stood. With my main chosen and my path clear, all that was left to do is start winning.
Sit your ass down!
It's time. Seating is finalized, the bracket is set, and the fighters are ready to go. Now let's see who I'm up against. Here it is, the final bracket. It's double elimination and every match would be best of 5, so one loss doesn't end your tournament run. Yeah, out of 12 fighters I landed at the 6th seed. Really living up to my name. The first match of the tournament showed me that this wouldn't be a walk in the park. Uncertified Critic is the 12th seed and he was only able to put a total of 5 hours into the game over the past month. And he gave Toka, the 5th seed, a run for his money.
Toka not playing games.
This could be death, y'all. If he holds
For jumping, yeah.
Imagine.
Okay, there we go.
Could be the end. Oh, an upset. I'm kidding.
I don't think it's an upset.
I don't think that's
The upset.
Someone was upset.
Toka was still able to close it out, but the tone was set. I would have to play my absolute best if I wanted to win. My first match was against Eagle Claw. Fittingly, he was actually the first real opponent I played against a month ago. This will be a real show of how much I've improved. I wasn't fully warmed up and the tournament nerves were fully setting in now, so it wasn't my prettiest fight, but I got the job done and punched my ticket into the next round. Next up for me was Lamb Chop. I practiced against him a few days ago and based on how that went, I wasn't confident. But I knew I at least had a shot. Things get off to about as rough of a start as possible. I put up very little fight in game 1. I was making the same mistakes. Trying to jump over his projectiles, not being able to find the gaps in his pressure, and failing to pressure him when he was low on mana. I needed to play patiently. Game 2 goes a little better. I'm down 0-2, but I'm keeping my composure. Fuck, I was stand blocking and I chose to crouch like an idiot. Game 3, I'm locked in.
Oh my yes!
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Not dead yet, not dead yet.
See that, bro? He's
And against all odds, I pull away with a win. At the very least, I'm not getting swept. Game 4 starts off strong. I get an opening and I take full advantage.
oh, that's that? No, what you doing?
I was mashing, I was mashing, I was mashing. Oh, thank God.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It works. It works.
Ryan, please don't send this motherfucker to lose your bracket with me.
So true, but
Please send him to lose. I don't want to play off with him.
I get overwhelmed in the next round, which puts me on set point.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh no, he wants it more than you, bro.
Damn,
He wants
bro.
it more.
And in the most important round of the tournament so far, I did absolutely nothing. Credit to Lamb Chop, he was the better player and he really earned that win. Now, unfortunately, I would have to make a long run through the losers bracket if I wanted to win the tournament. My first opponent in round 1 of losers is Goose, who plays Lucy. I only ever fought one Lucy and it was way back when I first started, so I was pretty nervous. But knowing that my tournament life was on the line, I was as locked in as I could be. If I practiced this whole past month just to get knocked out in the first round of losers, I would never forgive myself. I gave it my all and it paid off. With the spot secured in top 8, it was time to see some of the other competition. Jake at the 1 seed was a nightmare matchup for everyone in the bracket, and here he would show it.
You're dead.
Oh, he's popping off a little bit.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
God. He
That
actually
looks
had
so
it.
cool, actually.
Liam's Nagori Yuki is really good, but Jake has no trouble with it. The battle between the 2 seed Veruo and the 3 seed Lamb Chop is much closer. These guys are no joke.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That's playing a different game, bro.
Lamb Chop pulls off the upset and sends Veruo to the losers bracket, and now the rest of us have to pray that we avoid that matchup. My next match is against Yoshi. This was a matchup I was really hoping to dodge. Yoshi plays Jacko, which is a character that I not only have never played against, but I've also never seen her be played. Over the past month, I spent a lot of time watching high-level gameplay to try and familiarize myself with the roster. Jacko was one of the few characters that I never watched. The thought crossed my mind as I went to bed last night, and I considered looking up some matches to familiarize myself with the character, but I thought, nah, I'll be fine. What are the odds I have to play him? And now here we are. Immediately, my inexperience is being exploited.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Brody, don't do this to me.
Dude, I'm
Oh my goodness.
I'm fucking throwing.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't find an opening to save my life. My plan becomes educated mashing. If a move looks even slightly punishable, I'm pressing a button. This results in me getting counter hit a lot, but it also paid off. My defense is going to struggle in this matchup, but my offense is exactly the same. So if I could just get myself into the driver's seat, I could pull this off. My plan worked to perfection, and I closed out the set 3-1. I was so relieved to get this win. At this point, I feel like I've made it as far as I anticipated, if not further. The other round 2 losers match was Eli versus Toka. Eli was a fellow Unica main, so I was rooting for him.
Into that, yes sir!
There you go, there you go!
He said,
They
Nice
just had
overhead.
to
Nice!
Oh
God, come
God.
But unfortunately, his tournament run would come to an end here. Toka couldn't celebrate his victory for long though, as he would become the first losers bracket victim of Veruo. Next up was my quarterfinal match against Liam. Liam entered as the 4th seed, and after seeing some of his earlier fights, it was clear that he deserved that high of a ranking. Game 1, I got beat pretty badly. But slowly I'm starting to learn the matchup in real time. My tournament life hangs in the balance, and the nerves are getting to me, but I stay focused. Game 2 goes my way, but every round is getting way too close for comfort. I took Game 3 as well, and now my nerves are getting worse. Being 1 game away from top 4 has my hands sweaty and shaking. I choke away Game 4, and for the first time in the entire tournament, we were going to Game 5. He takes the first round, but I strike back, getting round 2 in a nail-biter. Final round. Set point for both of us. It all comes down to this. I have given everything I had to make it this far. This was my final stand. A month of constant practice, learning, optimizing. And in the end, it was enough. I couldn't believe it. That set could not have been closer. Every single game went to a 3rd round. I really had to give it my all to make it here, and to be honest, a top 4 finish wasn't even on my mind going into this tournament. And now here I am. I'm overjoyed, but I need to lock back in as I head straight into my next set. The next opponent in my way was Veruo. Last time we fought, it didn't go well for me. But I'm still riding the high of my last win. I feel as confident as ever. I might actually have a chance to win. Yeah, I didn't even get around. I was very clearly outmatched. He was the 2 seed for a reason. He was clearly the better player and he deserved to move on. Yeah, I had full meter that whole time and I just never used any of it.
No yellow Roman cancels.
I have not done a yellow Roman cancel ever.
Dude, you can avoid all.
I told you I've never yellow Roman canceled my entire life.
That doesn't mean you can.
You just hit the Roman cancel button while blocking, bro. It's not
Is that all it takes?
Yes.
Okay. I'll try.
Nigga wanna see me fall. Stephen Curry, how I ball.
Well, there it is, but at the worst
That
time.
was awesome.
You kind of hit it right when you weren't supposed to.
As for the rest of the tournament, Jake 3-0's Lamb Chop still having yet to drop a game. And unfortunately for Lamb Chop, Varua would keep his incredible losers bracket run alive by getting revenge on the very player that sent him there in the first place.
Oh my god, he could die off this.
Yeah.
He's dead.
No.
Way, bro.
Fuck, I converted that.
Way.
That was crazy. The Grand Finals matchup isn't a surprising one. It's the 1 seed versus the 2 seed. And as much as I would like for this to end in epic and dramatic fashion, Jake has other plans. He asserted his dominance with a quick 3-0. No bracket reset, no upset, just an unstoppable force with no immovable object in sight. Jake would emerge the victor, not dropping a single game the entire tournament. A truly impressive performance that earned him not only bragging rights, but the $100 prize as well. This whole thing wasn't just about winning or losing. It was about proving to myself how far I could go when I committed to learning something new. A month ago, I was struggling to wrap my head around the concept of a Roman cancel. But in the end, I found my main. She made learning the game seem possible for me, and I was able to become far better than I ever thought I could. I may not have won the tournament, but I walked away with something even better. The experience of going all in, the pride of making it as far as I did, and the excitement of knowing I've only just scratched the surface of what I can do. So if you've been on the fence about trying a new fighting game, take this as your sign. Jump in, find your main, start the journey, because you never know. The next main you pick could be the one that pushes you to grow, to compete, and to see the game and yourself in a whole new way. Thank you for watching. I really had no plans of making this video when I made the first one, but the support on that was so insane I figured as a way of thanking you guys, I would play the game that the comments most wanted me to play. And I'm really glad I did because this whole tournament thing was so much fun, and I'm extremely pleased with how the tournament turned out. It was a blast to both host and participate in. Huge shout out to all the guys that competed in the tournament. I quite literally could not have done this without each and every one of you, so thank you for playing, you guys are the best. Extra special shout out to CB Guy for providing some of the background music used in this video. I'll link his Spotify and YouTube in the description. You should definitely go check him out, he's got a ton of good music. I'll have the full playlist of all the songs I used in this video pinned in the comments below if you're looking for a specific song. I also want to thank all the new subscribers. I was originally going to thank you guys for helping me hit 1,000 subscribers, and now I'm nearly at 2,000. It really means the world to me, and I can't thank you guys enough. If you want to see more content from me, check out my last video where I played games that explored my deepest, darkest fears. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my next video where I take on the challenge of speedrunning. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.